Hello viewers, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new around here. Today we have a prediction video for the upcoming EU Winter Open. I say upcoming, it will be on the same day that this goes live is when it starts. So we are going to just get straight into this. Just a little bit of a recap actually with the closed qualifier results. So we had Tundra finishing first, Solary second, Vitality third, Guild fourth, Sir fifth, Sonic sixth, Williams 7th, and Vertigo in 8th, rounding out the top 8. And some big names actually not quite making it through. Endpoint being one of them, SK Gaming, Monaco, Vindico, some pretty big names, big players on those teams, not quite making it through. So yeah, that was just a little recap, but we're going to get straight into these predictions. And starting off here with Group A, there's been a lot of talk about what group is the group of death. I immediately thought Group D down here, and I would still probably stick by that, but honestly, because this is EU, every group is just the group of death because there's not much consistency in EU throughout the years. They are obviously technically the strongest region, going by results, but not always the same teams at the top, you know? I guess most of the time it is, but there's a lot of teams that come in. There's a lot of upsets is what I'm trying to say in EU particularly. And starting off with Carmine Corp, I don't think this one's going to be an upset match. I think Carmine Corp will come out firing on all cylinders and they will sweep their first game. Okay, the second match here in Group A, Vitality versus Sonics. Now, Sonics actually looking really good. They had a couple of very good results in the closed qualifiers, and with a team like Smokes, Metane, and Arju, has a lot of pop-off potential. For me, Metane is one of those players where he hasn't quite hit his potential yet, but for a long time I felt like he's just a bit of a sleeping giant. And if we can see a bit more of Metane without the shackles on, Sonics will be a scary team. Smokes we know is really good, and Arju we know is really good as well. But I feel like Metane could be that main player for Sonics. I really do feel that way. But Vitality for me at the moment, although Sonics look very good, I still think I might give the edge to Vitality here because they are looking like a much more scarier team than what we sort of saw last year. I mean, they sort of came into their own a bit when they made some changes and they did improve. They didn't have a great start, but they did improve and looked pretty tough. And I still think they're going to be tough here, but I do think this is going to be a close game. And so I am already going to have the second game going to 5. I fully believe in them in the game 5 there in the second match in Group A. Round 2 matches then, Carmine Corp against Sonics straight away. Again, I like Sonics. I don't think they're going to beat Carmine Corp. I don't think any team in this group is going to beat Carmine Corp actually. So that's a bit of spoilers there. And then Vitality against Sir. Sir has Tho Mike Boy and Toxic, I believe. So it's definitely not a weak team at all. Solid team. But again, all these groups are tough. And someone's got to go. Someone's got to finish bottom. And I think I'm going to give Vitality the win here in this game, but I will give a game to the other team. Carmine Corp against Vitality. Now, this could be a really interesting and entertaining matchup. I did kind of already spoil that I think Carmine Corp will sweep the group, and I do believe that. But I think this one will go to 5 as well. I think Vitality, I think they'll give him a good fight. I truly believe that. I think they'll give him a good fight. But I've still got Carmine Corp winning that one. Sonics here against I hate saying that stupid name. But anyway, yeah. Sonics against this stupid name team. That's what we're going to call them from now on. This could be a good game. I do think Sonics just have a bit more about them at the moment though, so I'm going to give them the edge. But I'm going to have that going to 5 as well. No, I'm not. I'm going to have that going 3-1 to Sonics. Group B then, over here. Moist against Williams Resolve in the first matchup. I think Moist are the strongest team in this group. And to me, the Juicy pickup after Rise left actually looks like a pretty promising pickup. They looked pretty good in the G1 Invitational. And I think I still think they'll be solid. If anything, they might be even better. Juicy might work a bit better with Joyo and Astral. I thought Joyo looked very good, better than what he has been recently. I think he looked better with Juicy. Maybe the whole Rise Astral thing wasn't working. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, Moist and Resolve. I'm going to have that go into Moist, but I will give Resolve a game there. G1 Solary next. Solary finishing second in the closed qualifier overall in the results table, sweeping their games, or not sweeping the games, but they won 3 games in the Swiss stage. And do I think they could beat G1? I do think they could. But G1, I just think G1 would be a bit too aggressive and a bit too quick for Solary. I think I've said this before about Solary. They're not the quickest team out there. And I think sometimes a pace advantage could just simply be the reason that a team can win in Rocket League, you know. I feel like G1's players, there's no hesitation, especially Mark by 8, you know, if he sees an opportunity to go for the ball, he's going to go for it as fast as he can. And I think he'll continue to do that against Solary. And I think this will be a free one as well for G1. Moist against Solary in the round 2 matches. I think there's upset potential here because the teams are so different to each other, and I sometimes feel like that can rock the boat a little bit. So I do think there's upset potential. I'm not going to go for an upset, though. So I don't know why I said that. But I still think there is potential there. I'm going to have it to go into Game 5, though. I feel like Moist, sometimes the games where you think, yeah, they'll sweep that one, sometimes they make it a bit difficult for themselves, and I think that's going to be one of those games. Next up, G1 against Resolve. I rate Resolve. They looked pretty good in the G1 Invitational. Not the G1 Invitational, sorry, in the closed qualifiers. And Breezy, I think, is their key player for me. I think all their players, don't get me wrong, they're all great players. I just feel like Breezy, for me, I don't know how many people would agree with this, maybe nobody. I just feel like he's got, similar to Mitane, similar to what I said about Mitane earlier, he's got a lot of potential, and he hasn't unlocked it yet. And I feel like he had a very good game, or very good games in the closed qualifiers. He was very, very clutch in some of the games. And I feel like if he can unlock his full potential and get them shackles off, you know, start hitting his peak, I feel like he could be a seriously dangerous player for any team. And I feel like Williams are going to take this game against G1. I have Williams beating G1 there. Round 3 matches then, Moist versus G1. Again, I think Moist, they won't make it too easy for themselves, but I do think they'll win. But I'm going to have this go into Game 5 as well, because I do rate G1. It's not that I don't rate G1 at all. I just rate Williams as well. And this is EU, you know, anything can go any way. Solary against Williams next up. I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to give this to Williams, I think, because I've got them beating G1. But then it could flip Solary losing to G1. This is EU, you know. See, G1 would beat Solary here, then lose to Williams, and then Solary would beat Williams. That would happen. You know, that is EU. That kind of stuff happens all the time in EU. Do you know what? I'm going to go for it here as well. You may look at these results and think, well, that doesn't make any sense because, like I've just said, Solary losing to G1, then G1 losing to Williams, but Solary beating Williams. You're probably going to think, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Look, trust me, this is EU, okay? This stuff happens all the time. And I think this is going to be the group where it does happen. So I've got 3 teams finishing on 1 and 2 here, with Solary going out on, the head-to-head. Okay, moving on to Group C. I'm going to try not to take as long as I have been. Let's try and get through these a bit quicker. Not Tundra. What am I, blind? I saw Tundra here. Team Liquid against Vertigo. Vertigo had a very good run and surprised a lot of people in the closed qualifier. I don't think many people had them finishing top 8. I didn't do the predictions of the closed qualifiers, but a lot of people didn't have Vertigo top 8. I think they was expecting more Monaco or SK or Vindico or something like that. But Vertigo snuck into the top 8, taking the 8th position. So I think they're going to be well up for it. They've got nothing to lose. They're going to be playing full of confidence, and because they have no pressures, you know, I don't feel like they've got any pressure. They've got further than they probably thought they would, or a lot of people thought they would. So I feel like that there's less pressure there for them to perform, right? So they should go out and just have fun and do their best. That's what their coach should be telling them if they have a coach. I'm not entirely sure, probably do, but they're coming up against Liquid. We know what Liquid are capable of. Capable of being the best team in the world are Liquid if they put it together. They're not, obviously, currently, but I still think they're going to comfortably beat Vertigo here in the first game of the Group C matchup. Next up is Quadrant against Tundra. I'm not rating Quadrant at the moment. We've seen what they can do, but they don't do it anywhere near as often enough. not anywhere near as often as they should be. And I think Tundra are just a better team collectively. Quadrant have good individual pop-off potential, but as a team, I'm just not entirely sure about them. I'm really not entirely sure. And because of that, I think I'm going to have Tundra winning this. And I'm going to have it 3-1 to Tundra as well. Okay, round 2. Matches Liquid against Tundra. This one's going to be a tight one. I think it'll be a tight affair. I think it will go to 5. But I'm going to have Liquid taking that one in that particular game. Quadrant against Vertigo. I think Quadrant will win this. But I think Vertigo... Ooh, will Quadrant win it? Do you know what? I'm going for an upset. I'm doing it. I don't think anyone will have Vertigo winning any matches in this group. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have them beating Quadrant in this game. Because I feel like Quadrant, it's a massive organisation. I think there's a lot of pressure on every player's shoulders in this group to perform at the moment. Because a lot of people are looking at them thinking, are you the real deal? Or did you just have a bit of a peak at some point? And that isn't really how good you are. Don't get me wrong, I rate their players. I rate Cash. I love Exo. Always have. He's a brilliant player. And I rate Relating Wave as well. And not a lot of people do. But at the moment as a team, they're just not gelling. Something's not right. And they don't look that good. They can be. They're not bad, obviously, because they're here, right? One of the best teams in the world. They wouldn't be here otherwise. But they're just a bit off. They're not very consistent. And I hate to do it because I like all the players on the Quadrant and I like the organisation. But there has to be upsets. This is EU. There's always upsets. There's upsets in every region, but EU is, all over the place most of the time. And so we're going to have an upset here and have Vertigo taking that game. Liquid against Quadrant. I think Liquid will win this pretty comfortably. We'll give Quadrant a game, but I think Liquid will win that. Tundra against Vertigo next. I don't think Tundra will lose to Vertigo, but I think Vertigo will have a good showing. We'll have it going to game 5. Nah, I've changed my mind. We're going to go game 4. But yeah, Vertigo getting out of Group C. So that's quite an interesting one there. Oxygen over here in Group D, aka Group Death, as I like to call it. Because we have Oxygen, Evil Geniuses, BDS, and Guild all in the same group. Guild sitting here, quaking in their boots. But Guild can be a great team, don't get me wrong. Guild, quite a new roster. They have Acro, Gom, and Louis P. So solid players, really solid players. But how are they going to do as a threesome? We know Louis P and Gom are very good ones players. Acro, I'm not too familiar with. I do apologise. I should probably dust up on Acro and see what he's about. But yeah, either way, they have Oxygen in round 1, and they're going to get swept by Oxygen in round 1. EG against BDS next. I believe in BDS here. They are a little bit rocky at the moment at BDS, very inconsistent. 1 minute they don't look great, the next minute they look like world beaters. That is just BDS at the moment. I'm going to have them beating EG here 3-1, but that game could literally go anyway. I know I've put it as 3-1 and not 3-2, but with BDS, any game can go anyway at the moment with them. They'll either win comfortably or lose horribly. Oxygen against BDS in round 2. I think Oxygen can take BDS. And I think they will take BDS. And I think they'll win 3-1. EG against Guild next up. Guild Esports could be a solid team, but they're relatively unknown at the moment as a roster. Against the likes of EG or BDS or Oxygen. Oxygen obviously are technically a new roster as a threesome, but we know Rise is going to slot straight into that team. Okay, EG Guild. I'm going to have that going to 5. I think EG will win that, but I'm going to have it going to 5. Oxygen against EG next. Do you know what? I think they're just going to sweep. I really do. I think Oxygen look absolutely terrifying at the moment. Even more terrifying than they did with Oli. Honestly, I didn't agree with the Oli drop-in and all that. Not that I didn't agree with it. It's nothing to do with me. It's not my business. But I didn't see why. And that's probably because I'm not a part of the team, so I don't know what was going on. But yeah, they still look just as, if not even more scary than they did before. Probably even more. They're going to be more consistent with Rise on their team, I believe. So yeah, they'll be even more scary. BDS Guild next game. I'm going to have BDS here. I'm going to have Guild not winning a game, unfortunately. We're going to go 3-1. in that particular matchup. So then, let's have a little recap here. Group A, Carmine Cop top in the group, Vitality second, Sonics and Sir in fourth, going 0-3. Group B, Moist at the top, G1 second, Resolve third, Solary fourth. And then Group C, Team Liquid first, Tundra second, Vertigo third, and Quadrant fourth. I don't think a lot of people would have done this. I think most people have Vertigo here, sitting fourth with 0-3. For me, I've got Quadrant there. Group D, aka Group Death, Oxygen at the top, winning reasonably comfortably. BDS second, EG third, Guild fourth. I say this is Group Death. I haven't really got it that close. So, yeah, maybe it's not Group Death. What's the closest group? It's got to be this one here, Group B, because the 3 teams 1 and 2. Yeah, that looks like the closest one, apart from Moist, obviously. But they did got them dropping 5 games. So, you know, that's a tight group, Group B. Despite it not looking so on paper. Anyway, let's get on to the playoffs. So these are the teams that are out here. These are the teams that went out 4th place in the groups. As you can see, Solary, Quadrant, Guild, and yep, that team there. Round 1, best of 5. G1 versus EG. Tough matchup. This is quite even, I would say. I want to lean towards G1, but you can never count out EG. Actually, as I'm going to quickly say this as I'm talking about this. Not long ago on Twitter, Evil Geniuses have actually announced that they're stepping away from Rocket League. The roster is still together, but the actual org, Evil Geniuses, is stepping away from Rocket League. So they're not going to be called Evil Geniuses when you see them tomorrow. I don't know what the team name is going to be. They might have already announced it on Twitter. I haven't looked yet. But it will still be the same team, same players, but not the team name as EG. So yeah, you'll see a different team name, but it's still going to be the same team. So yeah, EG against EG. Did I just say EG against EG? Yeah, I'm going to have to leave that one in because that's funny. G1 against EG. I think G1 will win 3-2. Will they? Yeah, we'll stick with that. We're going to stick with that. Forgot to mention the teams at the top of the group get an automatic pass to quarterfinals here. As you can see, Carmine Co-op, Oxygen, Moist, and Liquid. Tundra against Sonics in the next round 1 matchup. Tundra for me are a solid. They are a solid team. I really rate Raziers. I love watching Raziers play Rocket League because I don't know. It's just so fluid. It makes it look so easy. So yeah, I really do rate Raziers, but at the moment as a team, Sonics look pretty dangerous, especially when it's like a knockout stage, as they proved at the G1 Invitational. Can they do the same at the Winter Open? I'm not too sure. I think I'm slightly going with Tundra here. Let me have a little think about this. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my original thought and go with Tundra. I think Tundra will come out here and beat Sonics for Vitality against Vertigo in the next game. I think Vertigo, again, they're going to be having fun at this point. They're going to be buzzing to be in where they are if they get here. Unlikely that my results will go exactly this way in the real world, but we'll see. Vitality against Vertigo Esports. I think Vitality probably take this game, and I am going to have it as a sweep as well. But if Vertigo get here, they'll be very happy with that. I think they'll be very happy with that. BDS against Resolve. Could be an upset here. Upset potential for Williams Resolve to beat BDS. But I'm going to go against that and go with the boring prediction because I do believe BDS will be okay here and have BDS winning this game 3-1. Quarterfinals, best of 7 over here. Carmine Co-op against G1. I think K Co-op will win this. I think they'll win it comfortably. I will go with 3-1. I haven't really spoke about Carmine Co-op because I just think they're such a well-oiled machine that for me they're going to win most of the games they go in. Because they've just got that belief about them. I feel like they know that they can beat absolutely anybody at any given time. They are that well-oiled machine. This is a best of 7 as well, so I'm going to have to change this. I've done this wrong. Let's go with 4 here. We're going to go 4-1. I'm not going to give G1 a second game. But yeah, Carmine Co-op for me just a well-oiled machine, and they still will be for the entire season. Oxygen against Tundra. I think Oxygen are going to sweep this. I'm just going to say it. I think Oxygen are just going to be crazy in form at this point, and they're going to sweep that. They're going to sweep that game. Next up is Moist versus Vitality. This could be an interesting one. This could go either way. I fully believe this could go either way. I'm going to have it going to 7. I think it's going to be if this happens, it'll be a close game. If this happens at this stage, which is extremely unlikely, well, it's not extremely unlikely, but it's pretty unlikely, then I think it'll be a close game, but we're gonna go with Moist. We're gonna go with Moist here. Next game is Liquid against BDS. We have two very tough teams here, very strong teams. I'm gonna have Liquid taking this. I think we're gonna go with 4-2. I just think Liquid might have a little bit more about them here at this point than BDS. I'm still not sure about BDS. I don't really know what to do with them. It used to be easy predicting BDS because you think they're just gonna win everything, but yeah, at the moment, not too sure what to do with them. So yeah, gonna have Liquid winning that one. Let's go with the first semi-finals matchup. Karmine Corp against Oxygen. Now I already knew what I wanted to do with this one if this matchup came about, and it has come about, and this is what I wanted to do. I think Oxygen will win. I think they'll have too much about them at this point against Karmine Corp. I think Rise will get the better of his old teammate Vatira in this particular matchup, and you can see what's going to happen here, right? Didn't really plan for this until just now, but I think Moist are going to be really good with Juicy. But Liquid, oh, you can't count Liquid out. You really can't, especially the way they finished last season. I'm going to go for it, and it's wishful thinking at this point, probably. But I'm going to have Moist winning this to secure the grand final against Oxygen, and then obviously we're all going to be sitting here thinking, ooh, Rise versus Joyo, you know. Do we really want to see Rise versus Joyo? I don't. I wanted them on the same team forever. But yeah, we can't get it. We can't get what we want all the time. The grand final here, Oxygen Esports against Moist Esports. Two teammates that have recently split apart, coming up against each other in the grand final for my prediction. And unfortunately for one of those teams, they're not going to win. Obviously, state the obvious. Yeah, for me, I have to go Oxygen here because they've just come off a G1 Invitational win, looking pretty solid all the way throughout, and they are a really scary team, genuinely really scary. I have to go Oxygen, and I'm not going to go to 7 either. We're going to have 4-2 in favour of Oxygen. So that's how I've got my playoffs looking. We're going to have a look at the just a final clearer table here. Oxygen at the top, Moist second, K-Cup third, Liquid fourth. That rounds out the top 4 there. And then if we go over here, points table. So this is overall. So obviously you have the full Open Cup and the Invitational and the Major have been played. And then this is after the Winter Open has been played. This is what it looks like. So K-Cup still sitting at the top. Moist closing in second, Oxygen third, also closing in. Liquid fourth, Quadrant fifth. Still, despite me saying they will go out in the fashion that they are going to. But yeah, I believe that's going to happen to Quadrant. I don't like to say it because I do like them as a team, but at the moment I just don't know. I don't know what to think about them. And they kind of fell off a little bit and haven't still been looking that good from what I've seen anyway. And then over here, obviously, this is just a winter split points. Oxygen at the top, of course. Moist second, K-Cup third, Liquid fourth, G1 fifth. So basically the order that I've just put the my predictions in. So yeah, that's how it looks. Let me know if you've got this far in the video, and if you have, let me know what your predictions are. Who do you have winning the EU Winter Open? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, do consider leaving a like. I will really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed this video, and if you've watched other videos and enjoyed them and you haven't subscribed yet, consider it. Do consider subscribing. Really would appreciate that. I can't get my words out right now. I do apologize. But yeah, do consider subscribing to the channel. It means a lot, especially the people that have subscribed and liked and commented repeatedly. I do really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll speak to you all very soon.